Welcome, students. In this video, we are going to study the rules for taking derivatives of trigonometric functions. First, let's start by recalling the following two limits. A limit when h is approaching to 0 of sine of h over h is equal to 1, and limit when h is approaching to 0 of 1 minus cosine of h over h is equal to 0. We have shown that these two limits using squeezing theorem. We are going to use them in a second. First, let's start by showing the derivative of sine of x is cosine of x. Using limit definition of derivative, this is equal to limit when h is approaching to 0 of sine of x plus h minus sine of x divided by h. This is a limit when h is approaching to 0. Let's expand this using the rule for sine of sum of two angles. This is sine of x cosine of h plus sine of h multiplied by cosine of x minus sine of x divided by h. Now let's group this first and last term, and let's factor out minus sine of x. So this is minus sine of x. We'll end up with 1 minus cosine of h divided by h. And second limit is limit when h is approaching to 0 of cosine of x multiplied by sine of h over h. So we brought them into the following form, since we know that this limit is 0 and this is 1. We are allowed to split them up in the following way, since here sine of x is the invariant of h, so we don't care. That limit exists. Cosine of x, we don't care about cosine of x, and this limit here exists. So we are allowed to split them up in the following manner. So we'll end up with minus sine of x multiplied by 0 plus a limit of cosine of x multiplied by 1. So this is cosine of x. So derivative of sine of x is equal to cosine of x. We can also show using similar proofs that derivative of cosine of x is minus sine of x. Okay, now that we derived the following two derivatives for sine of x and cosine of x, we can find using these two derivatives for all other trigonometric functions. So for instance, let's show derivative for tangent of x. We can expand tan of x as sine of x over cosine of x. And using the quotient rule from previous lecture, this is equal to sine of x, derivative of sine of x, which is cosine of x, multiplied by cosine of x squared minus derivative of cosine of x, which is minus sine of x. So we'll have plus multiplied by sine of x. So this is sine squared of x divided by denominator squared, which is cosine squared of x. So this is 1 over cosine squared of x. All right. And using similar quotient rule, we can show that derivatives of other trigonometric functions are equal to the following values. So derivative of cotangent of x is minus cosecant squared of x. Derivative of secant of x is secant of x multiplied by tangent of x. And derivative of cosecant of x is minus cosecant of x multiplied by cotangent of x. All right, guys, that sums up our lecture on derivatives of trigonometric functions, and we are going to use this when finding derivatives in our next practice sheet. Thanks for watching.